Okay guys, hi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Mezco 1/12 Collective, The Amazing Spider-Man comic book version, the art style of Steve Ditko. We're going to look into this guy and all of his wonderful attributes he has, and stay tuned till the end for a random fact about the brain. Here's a box to the new 1/12 Collective, The Amazing Spider-Man figure from Mezco. The art style is from Steve Ditko. Really like the look of this figure. Here's the side, comic book panels in the background, 1/12 Collective, The Amazing Spider-Man on the top, and then the choking hazard on the bottom and other stuff. Almost all action figures have this warning, but that's okay. And then this figure is based off the art style of Steve Ditko. I would say starting from issue number 12, it gets unmasked by Dr. Octopus. If you look on the Big Bad Toy Store website, you can see that they have a picture of when he gets unmasked by Dr. Octopus from this comic book. As you can see here, they took inspiration from that for one of their pictures. And I really like this figure. It looks really good and really like it just jumped out of the comic book, and you can play with the comic book picture. So let's take a closer look at his accessories. Okay, now this guy comes with a lot of accessories and small stuff. He comes with 3 trays, in fact. So let's take a closer look at his first tray. And now, of course, his first tray is going to come with the figure himself. Looking really good. Steve Ditko's eyes there. But enough of the figure for right now. We'll take a closer look at the figure's goodness in a later bit. Let's take a closer look at some more of its accessories. Just kidding, you guys didn't really think I threw the figure, did you? I waited for a very long time for this figure. He was supposed to be my Christmas present, but it was delayed. And then the post office got him, but he didn't come by the mail because the post office didn't get him on that day when the mail ran, so the mail had already ran. Then I couldn't wait any longer, so I just went and got it myself from the post office, and the post office gave it to me. Thank goodness they did, because I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. I got so excited and wanted to see what he was like and stuff, and I went and got him, and I really like this figure. He looks really good. So let's take a look at his accessories. It's like we're gonna do the figure right now. He just came with so much that I've decided now that we should do another video on just his accessories, because he came with so much. And we want to look at the figure himself right now, right? And if you guys noticed how clear the camera is, it's because my mom has let me use her camera phone, the camera on her phone, which I'm really thankful for. If you guys really want to see all this detail and goodness on this guy, right? And you can clearly see him. And you like my background? Tobey Maguire looking up at you. Oh, that's also new too. So I will be showing you a few tips on the Mezco figures that I've done, and I will do a little bit of comparison on the articulation between the Far From Home Spider-Man and the Spider-Man Homecoming from Mezco figures after you look at the new one, the comic book style from Steve Ditko. So they really put all their power into this guy, and it paid off because the suit is a really high quality. It really looks good, really captures the comic book style. Really like this guy. Seems more sturdier or more durable than the other ones I've had. This is a good suit too. The Far From Home one is a good suit. See, from having this comic book one since Tuesday, been playing around with it. There's little damage to the shoulders right here, little damage there, but with the suits like these, you're gonna have a little bit of damage because it's just how it is, and you're not gonna have as much movement on the suit ones as other ones because the suit kind of restricts and stuff, and they just seem to not put in that much for these cloth guys. But this guy is really good. The suit doesn't seem to be restricting, like you can move up there and doesn't seem to be restricting there, and you can move back and it doesn't seem to be restricting. Little to no damage in his abdomen, which is nice. Not really seen much damage here, maybe a few wrinkles here and there, but there's that. And in his elbow on this side, if you can see, a little bit of wear because it seems to be catching on a piece of plastic in his elbow when I bend it. Sometimes certain ways I bend it seems to be catching on a piece of plastic in there, which it happens sometimes. So his head seems to be able to move up a lot more than these guys. It seems like as the years have gone by, they've gotten better and have taken notes on how to improve their figures. So his head goes up that far, and he can go down like that. He's got his side to side, can turn his head. He can move his arm out like this. There's his arms. Can do a T. And when I push down on these arms to go down, when I go to put the arms down, it seems to help because I've learned with these guys, it seems like his armpit thing is so strong, or the joint in his shoulder is so strong that it seems to be like catching here. So I would push in on his armpit and push down and kind of up and down as it goes, because as you can tell, it has this little rocking movement without moving up and down, which is kind of seems to be like how they have it there. But it seems to be like if you just like try to push it down on the arm, it'll break. So I would push in on his armpit there to help with that. And he's got his double jointed elbow. And sometimes on these figures, the joints aren't the same as the other joints, because you see this elbow can go in a lot more than this elbow, which is okay. You're not really gonna notice unless you like do something like I just did and stuff like that. But he has pretty decent articulation for a cloth figure. Seems like they did a really good job with this guy. I really like him, and he's got his bicep swivel here, good amount. Go turning it however which way you want. And he's got his hand, which can move in any way, just as long as you have the wrist peg joint for it going up and down in the direction you want it to. You can have it this way, or if you have it this, you can do that, and you can tone his wrist. And if you guys are wondering how I got his wrist to move like that with his hands, this hand it seems to work the best on. The wide open hands, like this hand I have, or these hands I have on him, seem to work best to do that. But if the wrist peg is too strong and you're afraid to do this with the figure, what I did for this guy is put his heated some water up in the microwave and took his hand off and put his wrist inside the hot water, or in the hot water, and let it set there for a little bit. You don't want it to go onto the cloth, but it's not going to hurt because I got some water on his cloth when I was doing it. Didn't seem to hurt it, and all I did was, after I let it set for a little while, is took pliers and pulled on it just a little bit, but you don't want to try to pull it out. That's not the goal. You want to pull on it a little and turn it at the same time, and you want to kind of grab right as close to the plastic part as possible. You don't want to grab the peg right here, because that is not, you don't want to break that. So that is how I got his hands to move like that with his wrists, and you want to do it at your own risk. This one seemed to do very well with that. On this one, I believe it made going up and down a little weaker on this side, but that's just how it happened on that one, and that's how I got it to do the toning with the hands like that, the wrist to tone with the hands. And this guy has the ab crunch. His ab crunch goes down about there. And what I've noticed is with these figures, or all figures, he goes back way more than you can go forward. See, like that seems to go back way more than he goes forward, and he can go kick up that high. He can go back about this far. Or want to move these out of the way so you can see this guy a lot, because it's not about those two figures, it's more about this guy. It can go back this far, and he's got double jointed knees, and he's got a little bit of a thigh swivel here. It's not like the Marvel Legends though. Spider-Man, it has the swivel and down a little, where on these figures it seems to be like where it's connected to the bottom of the figure, where it's connected. So that's how these figure works. And on this side you can go, and he can do the splits. So I wouldn't really recommend doing it often. It seems to lock. On this leg it seems to lock. On this leg it did a little, but this leg it seems to lock when you try to go down. You can kind of tell, or you just kind of have to feel for it. Or he's got his toe pointer, or you can point his toes. Not much articulation in the foot. You can go up there, and he can go about there and go out. Don't want to push it too much or stretch it. And this is a new thing that they've done for this figure. He's got a boot swivel. He's got a boot swivel here, which is new. I want to spin it all the way around. On this side it's a little stiffer, but it's a little different on the sides of the figures sometimes when you get them. And he has his torso torn side to side. He can go side to side too. Got his twist there. So these guys are pretty good figures for cloth figures. They do a really good job to put a figure in a suit this small and to scale. They did a really good job, and this suit seems to be the weakest out of the ones I have, I believe. This one seems to be a little stronger, which I haven't posed this one that much, but they seem to have done better on the suit, like made it more adorable. And on this one, they seem to have added the 3D likeness of the webs. On this one, it seems it's printed onto the suit, and on this one it's 3D. Oops, Spidey's fell. And on this one it's 3D as well. But yeah, there's the suits, and on this suit seems to be, the red seems to be maybe a little bit thicker than the red on these. This red is pretty thick too. But here's what these guys used to look like when they were looking up. So not much. As you can tell, that is how far they can look up with these, with the first two that I have of the Mezco, from Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home. And on this guy, he seems to look up a way more. Yeah, let's see. So yeah, and they've done this different thing on this figure. They have the ball attached to his head when he comes in the package, which is different because these guys, the head doesn't have that. The balls, the peg for the head to connect to the neck is already inside. So now we'll look at these two standing next to the new one. There they are standing. Looks really good. Nice together. And we will look at a few of his villains. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Lizard and the Marvel Legends Sandman, and he does look like a teenager in a costumed suit. They seem to look very good together and size well, especially to the Sandman here. Look really good and nice together, and you can recreate comic book pictures with this classic Spider-Man, which we will do at the end of this video, so look forward to that. And now let's look at a few more figures. Here he is compared to the Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends classic 1990s TV show Aunt May, and they look well together. The two Spider-Men seem to be the same height. The Mezco one seems to be just a bit taller, but they seem to be the same height, which is really nice because you can have these guys, you can have it like he first did this suit, like he does, and then he changed to this suit, and you can't really tell the difference, except with the cloth, but it would work good for a video. Now let's take a look at a few more villains. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Dr. Octopus and the Marvel Legends Doctor Doom, which he fights in the first few comic books of Spider-Man. And this Marvel Legends Dr. Octopus, I have tried to do the modification with the arms. I still need to do a little work on it, because on the videos I've seen, they seem to have put in his arms permanently, and I don't want to put his arms in his back permanently. I still want to be able to take them out, because I seen in the comic book of the first time he fights the Sinister Six, they finally get his arms to off of him. They finally get the arms off of him, but he can still control them with his mind. Gotta touch up the back of him and try to make it so I can still take them out, but it still stays strong to the position I have it in. And gotta take away the tape or whatever piece of stuff I'm gonna have to do that. I'll have to figure out. I think I have an idea to do it with some kind of hot glue, the hot glue gun, where I put the glue on it already and let it dry, you know, kind of, and then stick it in there and see if it works. I gotta touch up the tape on this too, which I should do eventually whenever I decide to and have some time, which hopefully I will eventually do that sometime. Oops. So now let's take a look at the last two villains I'm going to show you. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Kraven the Hunter and Marvel Legends Shocker, which he doesn't fight Shocker until after Steve Ditko left. And here is Kraven the Hunter is a classic Steve Ditko villain when he was drawing Spider-Man. And now let's wrap this video up. Okay guys, the random fact about the brain is that your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. Have fun with that information, and see you in the next one.